started a project. It looks really dumb right now. Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's by Mandy. My name is Amanda and I'm in a creative funk. I have been really busy in my work life and I feel like it has not lent to like good creative energy coming into summer. I feel like a burst of inspiration and like hunger for knitting in the summer or in the spring when the seasons turned. But now that the heat of summer is settling in, coming up for air at my job, I'm just kind of like, what next? Decided to just rip the band-aid off. I'm gonna start a new project, I'm gonna start a new video, and I'm deciding to document making my scrap pillow project. You may have watched my spring cleaning video in which I organized all my scraps and I decided I'm gonna make something with these. And I decided a pillow would be fun. I have another whole bag that is just little butts of yarn, which would be perfect pillow stuffing. I just need to like clear this out of my home. I just need to like get something done. I just finished this, but like I've made this pattern and it's like a black cami, so I'm just not feeling excited by it, even though I love it. I'm gonna wear it a lot. I'm just not like, yay about it. We're just gonna do it. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to, I think, randomly pick colors. We'll see. And then I'm not gonna think about it too much because thinking about it will give me paralysis and I don't want that. I just want a little burst of something new and fun and exciting, sort of sassy. And I'm gonna try to hack the excavation pattern by Hypnotizer. And it is a blanket pattern that has fringe, but I think it might be cool to have a fringy pillow. I don't know. Honestly, we'll see how it turns out. I can always cut the fringe off or weave it in. But for now, we're going to just go with what the pattern describes and figure the rest out later because that's what I need to do. So I think I'm itching to get started. Well, it says to get started with something that you have less of because as you go on, you have more, you need longer strands. We start with, I have this yellow yarn. Close my eyes. Actually, this is calling to me. Let's start with this. And let's just go. Let's just go. Started a project. It looks really dumb right now. Well, tune in later when it looks hopefully better than this. Honestly, Your Honor, she's slaying. Yeah, so I've been knitting for maybe like an hour-ish, and this is what we have so far. I'm leaning into the color explosion. I want it to be kind of ugly. I don't know, like I keep thinking, I'm not gonna sit like that, like a slump. I keep thinking of crochet rugs that my grandma had. And my grandma also had this house dress that had like all these multicolored stripes. And I think like the crochet rugs were also multicolored. That's like a trend. I feel like that's coming back, which I really like. And I think it'll just be fun. So that's what I'm leaning into. I'm not trying to think too much about my color selections. I just want it to be, bleh. I want it to be like, bleh. You know, like that. Kind of forgot I'm gonna have to do a second one, but that's fine. Oh my gosh, water just went down the wrong pipe. I'm back. I have been rotting on my couch for about 2.5 hours at Just Girly Things. And this is what I have so far. Oh my God. Yeah, okay. And this is what I have so far. Look at her, she's beautiful. I'm really liking it. I'm thinking if this is gonna be the widest point, maybe like a few more rows and then I'll start decreasing. I just want to make sure that I have enough stuffing, but I think I should be okay. So yeah, this is really fun, and I think this is the right side. Yeah. Oh no, this is the right side. I underestimated like what makes this blanket fun is how striping works in garter stitch, because so this is the like the right side, I guess you would say. I'm sorry, I'm choking. So you can just see like, okay, each row, but this one, you know, the colors kind of melt and mix, and I'm really, really happy with how they're looking. So yeah. Update. Here's what we have so far. It's looking funky, it's looking fun, it's looking ugly, and I love it. Just say that something's meant to be ugly on purpose, then no one can hate on you for it being ugly. Life hack. So earlier I was saying how I have kind of been feeling depleted. I think depleted in mostly my like professional arena in life. I'm just like stressful. It's just been like really busy season. And then of course I think that affects how much mental space I can dedicate to both creating videos and also just creating knitting. So I think it's a popular question I see other people get asked, or like just a topic to think about. It's like, what do you do when you're in a creative rut? This time I decided just kind of like Kool-Aid man, run, burst through the door through it, like just pretending like it's not happening. It's feeling kind of like, meh. I don't know what that I can point to. Did I fuck up? I just added this on the wrong side. Okay, 1 second. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem, it's me. This on the right side with literally all the other fringe. I am thinking that I can maybe have one end be like fringy and like tie together one end with the other fringe, kind of a la the tie fleece blankets of yesteryear. See, once I start making the other side, I was thinking like, oh, it might be nice to have a side that's just like a solid color, but I still have so many scraps, so I'm just gonna keep making another ugly side. As I was making this, I was like, oh, should I have like organized it by color? But I'm trusting that the ugliness will come together in a good way. And the lack of color theory or forethought will actually be intentional. Sometimes I see people's scraps and I'm like, that's like a beautiful pile of scraps. Like, oh, I just don't have that. It is beautiful to me, but it's just not like coordinated. Or I also always felt like scrappy projects would be like a scrappy sweater, and I'm like, I don't have a sweater quantity of scraps. Well, maybe I could, but I don't think it looked that good. So none of them are the same weight. A pillow makes more sense to me. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking so far for the pillow. Yeah, excited about it. To talk about knitting mojo and fostering creative energy, and maybe how I don't feel like I'm doing that really well right now. It's hard for me to talk about this without like also just talking about my other like emotions and feelings at the time. But I think what I've noticed in this time of being really busy with work, I've almost put myself on like autopilot, and I've stopped like really checking in on myself. And I think part of that is contributing to me not feeling like I'm excited so excited or like feel like I have a lot to share. Part of it is I don't have a lot to share, but the other part is like, I don't know if I'm describing this correctly. Like, I'm not journaling. I'm not like in my routine of moving my body in a way that feels good to me. And I haven't journaled in a really long time. And it's kind of that thing where I haven't done it for so long. I'm so afraid to pick up the pen and start writing. And so maybe that's why I'm making this video. Ooh, interesting. Because I feel like I need some kind of outlet. I don't know. But all that being said, I feel like that's contributing to whatever I'm feeling right now about knitting. Like, I really just felt like I needed to pick this up 2 days ago and get hacking, because although that I can feel like I'm in a creative rut with knitting, like, I feel like part of me, like, I can't stop doing it. Like, I need it, right? And I think it is okay to have times where you're maybe less into it or less excited by it. Something that I've worked on over the past few years when it comes to things like working out and showing up for myself is it's so much more important to value in consistency over intensity, because consistency is what will get you like through the day to day. And it's obviously so easy to burn out on being overly intense about things. So, yeah, I think that it's completely normal. I normally do try to ride the ebbs and flows. Like, there'll just be times where I have video ideas every week and I really want to be making videos and editing them and spending my time doing that. And I also just feel like during the winter I had more time. And now I feel like I have less time, but also less ideas, and that's kind of bumming me out. Right now I'm attending to that issue with just doing and hoping that excitement comes somewhere along the way, or like a fresh idea comes along the way. And it's okay if it takes some time. To answer the question no one asked of how do you get back your knitting mojo, I think there's a few answers. One, you can stop. And that's totally fine. Who are you making for other than yourself, right? You can just stop, give yourself a break. I didn't want to take that option this time. Maybe I took a little break, but like maybe I could think about that if this doesn't work. Next thing that you can do is try something new. Maybe you try to learn a new skill instead of doing the same old thing. Maybe you try crochet or diamond painting or embroidery or needlepoint or sewing. Try something else or different. You could do that. You could just try reading or journaling or maybe doodling. Maybe something not involved at all in fiber arts. Maybe you focus your energy on cooking new meals or going new places where you live. Just like anything to get you out of your routine, I always find is like, I feel like it's good for your brain to do that. You can push through it. You can go around it by giving yourself a break or trying something different. You could ignore it and give yourself a break and do nothing, because that's liberating as well. I think a lot of people like to say they'll work on smaller projects if they're not feeling inspired by, a bigger project that they're working on. I think that's extremely helpful. Would love to know, does summer bring up this feeling for you? Like, does summer maybe like bring your knitting to a grinding halt because either you're busy or your kids are out of school, or you're going on vacation, you're traveling, or it's just hot? How do the seasons changing affect your knitting? Because I just remember like nothing feels as good as casting on a sweater in like mid-September. There's a chill in the air, but it's like not cold yet. And so you're thinking of the cold days that are to come while you're wearing your sweater that you're making. To me, nothing feels better than that. So perhaps I will just chase that September feeling all summer. But I don't want to wish away the time that I'm in right now either. Feeling energized by all these colors. I'm feeling maybe a little overwhelmed by them, but this does make me happy. Like, I think this is just really fun and like youthful. It kind of brings back, like I said, those memories of maybe like older textiles that my grandma had in her house. I like the randomness of it. I like that a lot, actually. So, all right, I'm done with this row. I will check in with y'all soon when I'm done with this square. We're getting there. Hello. It is 1 p.m. on a weekday. I'm at my apartment pool and I'm gonna start on my next square. I didn't show you the square, but it's done. I worked an event last night, so I worked from 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. today, and now I'm just having a little afternoon pool with no one here as a treat. It feels really luxurious, even though I've already put in a full day of work. So if you have any ideas of how mental American corporate culture can have you, you're like, oh, I'm being kind of lazy. No, I just fucking worked today, you idiot. So yeah, I'm gonna get some time in and there's no one here because everyone else is working. Sucks to suck. You should all work at 2 a.m. like me. But it's also something that I do really often, maybe like a few times a year to accommodate for different time zones. So we love inclusivity. All right, signing off. You know my favorite vlog shot is me being crusty in my bed. It's later that day. I'm not showing you the finished square because I want you to see them both together, but this is what we have so far. And honestly, she's slaying even harder. And I've decided that I'm going to add tassels to the other two sides that won't have tassels. And that way I can have tassels all around and then tie the tassels together, and then big genius brain move, I don't have to do any seaming. I would rather attach like 50 tassels than seam. I might actually have to do some seaming, but we're gonna try to get away without doing it. Okay, so that's the update. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I need to make it to a decent time so I don't wake up at a crazy hour. I'm filming this in a week where my work schedule is like wackadoodle-dooski. It's very unorthodox for me. So I have to wake up at 4 a.m. today. It's like 7 p.m. right now. Okay, so that's where we're at, love. Babes, doll. Hello, it's your favorite couch gremlin with an update. Here's what we have so far. I got really worried because this was looking almost like too attractive here, and so I had to kind of uggo it up in these next rows, and then we're gonna kind of bring it back with like some greens, maybe. So I just drank a bunch of seltzer right now. I have gas in my tummy. Plug for, this is my favorite seltzer flavor. It's ginger from Wegmans, and it's like a sugar-free ginger ale, but like nothing that tastes like sugar-free because I hate that like aspartame. So good. It's my favorite thing. I worked this morning from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. and now I'm going to watch Shiny Happy People. And hopefully I'm just about at the like widest point. So from there, hopefully it's like zoom, 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 smooth sailing, and we can get lots of work done. So I am going home to Pittsburgh this week, and I would like to maybe just cast on a top while I'm there. I really just kind of put the dress on like the back burner, which is kind of a bummer, but it had to be done. It had to be done. So, going to keep trucking on, babes, and catch up with you soon. There's a child screaming in the hallway. Me too. All right, the disgusting air is cleared. I finished the entire Duggar documentary in one sitting, and I finished both squares. I'm going to talk about the documentary in my next podcast episode. I've been thinking about doing just like a knit and chat where I do a roundup of like shows that I've been watching, mostly reality, and I feel like, I know it's a documentary, but it's about reality television, so I kind of feel like it falls into that purview. Anyway, let's see. This is the second square. Cool. And this is the first square. I'm so happy with how they turned out. I'm really excited to see what they look like pressed together. I quickly realized that my tying idea is kind of dumb, and it shouldn't take me that long to seam these together. So what I'm gonna do is, I think, seam them like this so that there's fringe on either side, and then maybe once it's seamed, I'll like, I'm not sure if I'll just leave the fringe there or if I'll like pull each string, like one string through each side and then knot it so that like it covers. I'm not like too worried about it. So that's what we have so far. And then obviously I'm gonna trim this. I left it long purposely because I wasn't sure like how the joining would go. So that's what we have. I need to look up how to join garter stitch because I don't think I've actually ever done that, and I'm not sure if it's different than just like the mattress stitch technique, which I think it would be. So I'm gonna Google that, sit in front of the laptop, and just hang out tonight, and tomorrow we go to Pittsburgh. Yay! So hopefully I have this finished by tonight and I can show you. Yeah, so here we go. Just spent like 2 seconds watching a video on how to join these, and I actually think I might go back to my original plan of making tassel and then tying them together. Hey, hello, I'm in Pittsburgh. I finished the pillow and I have a bunch of footage but like no explanation of it, explain what I did, and I'll show you as well with the video. So what I did end up deciding to do, as I was saying, was I like truly tried seaming for 5 seconds and I was like, I want to go back to my original idea. So I still had a lot of leftover yarn, and so I went back and just made tassels for the 2 remaining sides that didn't have, I guess it's fringe really, it's not a tassel. So I made fringe by just cutting one piece of yarn and putting it through. So I would go by color and I would count how many rows were in each kind of square. So I'd say, oh, there's like 3 or 6 rows of yellow. I think most ended up having like 5 or 6 rows. And then I would go back and then individually place the fringe. It sounds more tedious than it was because if you flip the pillow over, it's very clear on the back side that I was showing you all where the color changes are. On kind of like the excavation side where the colors are more melted, it's a little more tricky, but when you flip it over, the pattern, like the lines are very much more clear. So it was not that hard to do. It took me maybe an hour and a half, but I overall ended up really liking the tie effect, and it made putting it together really easy. And also people really liked it. I posted it on my Instagram and people thought that was a good idea. So that's what I did to add the extra ties together so I could actually tie, you know, each piece of fringe together. So once everything had fringe on all 4 edges, I just lined things up and then I started tying them like individually. It was pretty easy to kind of line them up, even though they aren't the same color, just because like the breaks are so distinct, you know which one comes next. It's not that hard to mess it up. And then after that, I took my big ball bag of stuffing that I had of like yarn scraps, and I just filled it up after I did 3 sides, and then I tied the top side together. I used almost all of that bag that I showed, so that was really great. I was so excited about that, to clear up some space, and like felt even better to actually use those, because for a long time I didn't really think I was gonna actually use them. So that was great. And then after that, the last few finishing steps that I did was I gave the fringe a quick steam just to make them straighter. And then after I steamed them, I gave them a little cut, snip, and it was all done. When all was said and done, the whole project took me 1 week, and it was really great. I've gotten really good responses from it on Instagram already, which feels really good. Honestly, I'll just say that. Like, I wasn't really sure how this project was going to turn out, and like I said, I was talking in this video about how I'm just not feeling super creatively energized, and I'll just be straight up by saying getting validation from other people feels really nice when you're feeling like that. But at the end of the day, of course, we have to create for ourselves, but that was a nice added bonus for me. So thank you if you follow me over there. And overall, very happy with this project. I think it'll be cool if you've made the excavation blanket. You can make maybe a matching pillow. So yeah, and then you can, if you don't have something to fill it with, of course you could buy polyfill. You could use an old pillow that you have. You could make a cover for an existing pillow. You could fill it with old t-shirts, or yeah, you could go buy filling too. It's not that expensive, but I'm really happy with it. I think it's really cute. I'm not exactly sure where it'll live yet in my apartment, but definitely would encourage you to try this. Like I said, just use the excavation pattern that is free on Ravelry. It was super easy. The only mod I did was just adding fringe to the squares. So that was my little scrappy project. I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and I hope you maybe got a new idea for a scrappy project that you could use, and you can maybe work through stash if you're also kind of facing a little creative block in this moment. Please feel free to recreate this. So with that, I will sign off, and I will see y'all in the next video. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye!